Hey, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Just waiting for you guys to get in here so we can have a conversation about a number of things. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, I'm game to talk about it. Just waiting on a few of you guys to jump on in the room. Let me know you're here. If you would, just throw up some hand signs, a smile, a thumb, something to let me know that you guys are hearing me, that the video quality is good, and that the sound quality is also good. I'd really, really appreciate you doing that. Joe, did you call me? Yeah. So today is Sunday, December the 4th, and it has been a very productive day. Very productive day. I hope that you have had an excellent day as well. Um, yeah, we got up this morning, we went to church, got a good word, got rejuvenated, revived, and ready to meet the challenges of this next week. And it has just been a phenomenal day, very phenomenal day. I may have picked the wrong night to go live. I know many of y'all are probably watching football or getting those naps in or whatever else is going on. Yeah. But what I really wanted to do is just get your comments and just interact with you guys for a little while. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that or not. Doesn't look like very many people are on their social media tonight. But anywho, we shall continue to drive forward and move on as we normally do. Well, just waiting on you guys to jump on in here and make it do what it do. So I will chalk this up to a learned experience that I need to perhaps advertise the live going forward. Perhaps what I need to do is just chalk it up. Learn, live and learn, live and learn, live and learn. If you're living, you ought to be learning. So I will learn from this, this here tonight. But anywho, uh, been playing with this new software that I got. Doggone locks in the way. Playing with this software that I got, and I've been able to uh, get the basics down. And I must say that I am thoroughly impressed with what I have at my disposal now. Um, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but with all the YouTube videos out there and the trial and error, I was able to figure it out pretty well. And to get on here and as another means to try to engage with the listening public to the podcast, Essential Discourse with Bruce Smith. Um, we've got some things in the works, some interviews in the works with some people who have knowledge in the subject matter in which I'm hoping to be able to interview them and get that put out here shortly. Uh, shortly uh, is relative, so you got to work with people's schedules, and of course, I've got a schedule now that I didn't have when I first started. I had to get back into the workforce. Yeah, I ain't too thrilled about that, but it is what it is. And I'm hopeful that I can get some content that would resonate with people and that will begin to develop loyal listeners, loyal listenership, and drum up some support from people I know and who I do not yet know. I really think that the subject matter that we've covered so far has been uh, information and an approach to dealing with subject matter that we normally don't really deal with. We really don't really talk about, you know, um, how to choose a friend and do we really have friends. We don't really talk about um, the characteristics and the qualities of a friend. That is one of the podcast episodes that I released. We don't really talk about the family drama of raising children and then those children becoming adults. We really don't talk about that. We really don't talk about um, political maturity. We will chime in with bits and pieces of this is what I think. This is all them folks gonna do. We'll chime in, but when it comes down to action and actually obtaining and utilizing political maturity, we really don't want to have those discussions. So these are some of the things, not all the things. These are some of the things that we have addressed in the podcast. And I keep looking back just to look at my laptop to see if uh, anyone has made any comments, any reactions or whatever, because I'm supposed to be able to see it on my screen right here. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is functioning properly. Um, but we've dealt with situations of genuine gratitude. There's so many people uh, who have experienced grace, who have experienced charity, kindness, and do not operate out of a genuine gratitude for what has been done for them and by whom it was done. So all topics of discussion, getting your child ready for school, having that tough conversation with your child to see, if your child should even be attempting to go to school, a 4-year college. Maybe your child's passion is in something else. These are all subject matters in which we've dealt with on Essential Discourse with Bruce Smith. love misconceptions. Great interview with Miss Yolanda Washington, a licensed uh, counselor here in Killeen, Texas, and where we dealt with some of the misconceptions that people walk into relationships with, walk into marriages with, and they never really deal with the situations at hand. And you're 5, 10 years into a marriage, and now you want to call it quits when all you had to do is really temper your expectations, and really work towards uh, having an understanding about what marriage is, uh, what 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 are your love languages, and so on and so forth. So I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do so far. I think that if people would sacrifice a little bit of time to just listen, I think that it would be very impactful on the lives of the people who hear the information that's being presented. Additionally, um, this live streaming thing, this platform here, I do plan on utilizing this more and more, because I understand that for some people it's hard to just sit down and listen uh, rather than to watch a person talk and engage with other people, and you know see the different types of overlays and things that come up on your screen. I get it. I get it. I get it. And so I am trying everything possible that is at my disposal to reach those who I have not reached. And there's an audience out there. I just need to find them. And so I'm using this apparatus as a means to find my audience, the people uh, who are cognizant of truth and actually have value for truth. Um, of course, don't just talk about you know the hard stuff that we don't talk about. Just this week, you know, I've read various opinions about Deion Sanders, taking a job at Colorado, and there are people on both sides of the fence. Some are saying that Dion is all about himself, is all about a bag, and there are others saying, "Hey, Dion did what you know most of us do. He took a job. He took a job at another position where he was able to, perhaps be closer to making uh, the playoff, the play-in playoffs, or whatever it is for the college football season. So I like to get into. I like to have those type of conversations as well. It's not all gloom and doom with our podcast. Uh, the problem is that we're not getting any engagement to see what's on the people's minds in regards to this. Um, there's a video clip that I saw just today talking about uh, the perception that Joe Biden has not done anything for people of color. And it was a very well laid out argument in support of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has done. And to be honest with you, I hadn't even thought about that from the aspects in which this argument was made, and it really caused me to think. It really did. It caused me to think and really go back, and I'm going to research that stuff to see if it's true. I see I got one viewer on. Hello to you. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm hoping that the video quality is good and that the sound quality is good. If you would just give me a thumbs up or a smiley face, something like that, I'd really appreciate you letting me know that you can hear me and you can see me well. But getting back to what I was saying, I want to talk about uh, social issues. I want to talk about faith. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about all these things, but I can't talk about these things and be effective and efficient at talking about them if there's no engagement with you, the audience, and with whom I'm talking to, the authoritative audience, the people whom I am trying to reach. With that being said, um, if you have a subject that you would like for us to discourse, by all means, please, 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 put it in our inbox. Drop it on the Essential Discourse with Bruce Smith Facebook business page, or you can even leave a comment at the website, which is www.edpshow.com. That's it right there on your screen. There's a section there for you to communicate with me, communicate with me directly, and I will do my best to answer your questions or take your advice under consideration to ensure that, what the people have questions about and that I may be able to answer, that I'm answering them in a truthful, respectable, reasonable, reliable, and restorative manner. Again, um, this is one of those things that I'm passionate about. I got into podcasting not to make money, but to be able to connect with people. I have another group on Facebook. It's called Group Hope, and we started out strong. We started out strong with over 200 members, I believe. And Group Hope is basically a daily post that I'm inspired to write. It's ACE. Remember the acronym ACE. ACE. The A stands for admonishment. The C stands for caution, and the E stands for encouragement. And if we would look at those things, I think if we would read those and ponder on those things on a daily basis, I think that we have much more success in our day to day activities. Again, that's Group Hope. That is a group that is open to the public on Facebook as well. There's no questions to answer to join. The only thing that I ask that you do on that particular Facebook group is do not use any profanity, do not upload any pornography, and we're going to be good to go. Um, so while I'm just sitting here talking, because I'm going to go back and listen to this, and hopefully everything came out well. Um, there was some recent conversations about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones uh, was a picture was uncovered of Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones at the time was 14 years old, and apparently there were some students trying to integrate an Arkansas high school, and Jerry Jones was one of the uh, Caucasian fellas who was in the photograph, and it is stated that they were actually attempting to bully the black students who were attempting to um, integrate that school. Jerry Jones is 80, 80, 80, somewhere in his 80s. Let's just say it's 80. He was 14 when that happened. So I made a statement in my political maturity 2 um, episode in regards to history, uh, the teaching of history here in the United States of America. Uh, that episode, I stated that could it be, could the reason that so many people are against uh, the accurate history, accurate history being taught is because that your grandparents, your aunts, your great aunts, and your great uncles, they might be in some of these photos that are just being kept in storage right now, and it's always amazing to me when I say something that is inspired. A thought pops into my head that's inspired, and then a couple of days later or a couple of months later, this stuff pops up, and it's like, oh, I was in the right vein. I was talking real talk. And LeBron James made a statement a couple of nights ago to reporters. It was a rhetorical question. He didn't want them to answer. He just wanted them to think about it. I think he was making a statement of, and I'm paraphrasing. You guys are quick. You guys being the media, you guys are quick to ask us questions about our brethren. Kyrie was involved in this anti-Semitic thing. Got suspended. I think it was 8 games. Had to do a whole bunch of had to meet a whole bunch of criterias just to play basketball again. And granted, um, Kyrie said nothing anti-Semitic. He posted a link to a movie that may or may not have had anti-Semitic messaging in that documentary. I say may or may not have because I've not felt the need to read the book or to watch the documentary. So may or may not have had anti-Semitic uh, rhetoric in the movie. But when this Jerry Jones thing popped off, yeah, you heard a sound bite or two about it, and LeBron brought it to the attention of the entire country. I was a bit disappointed. I'm paraphrasing what LeBron said. I was a bit disappointed that I did not receive any questions about the Jerry Jones photo. And LeBron also stated, I get it. It was a long time ago. I get it. People grow. I get it. He was 14 at the time. I get that. But at the same time, I don't get, and I'm paraphrasing again, I don't get how Kyrie's incident can be on every news platform, whether it be sports or whether it be just regular news, on the bottom line of every sports show, talked about constantly, and how it could be, uh, how players could be asked about the actions of Kyrie, what he was thinking, as if you're his psychologist or something, repeatedly every day until Kyrie came back into the league. And to be frank with you, it continues to go on now because they're still answering questions about Kyrie. But the Jerry Jones situation, so a reporter did have the guts and the spine to ask Jerry, and Jerry kind of played it off like nobody there knew the impact of what was happening. Huh. Hmm. Okay. When I was younger, much younger, I was about 10, between 10 and 12. I stole a pack of BBs from a store in my hometown of Coachella, Louisiana called Western Auto. And I happened to be in that store with my mama's best friend. Now, my mama's best friend didn't see me take the BBs, but she could see that the clerk at the store had a look on his face that indicated that I had done something. So she told me and her son to get out the store. And when she came out, she asked me what I took about that store. And of course, I didn't lie. I told her, I took some BBs. And I knew I was wrong when I did it. So you can't tell me that Jerry Jones at 14 didn't know what the impact of black kids trying to integrate a white school where there had never been a black kid there before. You've heard the rhetoric of the people who look like you, the people who live in your communities. You knew that it was happening on a particular day. You knew that uh, a particular group of people were trying to uh, integrate what you felt was yours. You cannot tell me that you didn't know that the impact of snarling, yelling, screaming, and onlooking would have uh, for those individuals. You may not have known the impact that it would have had for the country, but you definitely knew that it was going to make an impact on those individuals who were trying to integrate. And these are conversations that we need to have as well, because as long as we allow people to skate around the truth, skate around, uh, you know, and just give us fooga booga for answers and say, okay, that's good. Okay, I accept that. I'm gonna move on. Because when we try to do the same thing, no, there's no passes. You should have known better. You should have known better. So if a 12-year-old, myself, instilling BBs knew better, obviously a 14-year-old Jerry Jones knew that the actions of that crowd were going to be impactful on the people who were trying to integrate that school. And not to mention, Jerry Jones, out of his own mouth, out of his 80 something year old mouth, said that his coach had told them, don't even be around there because there could be trouble. But somehow you found yourself in the crowd as an onlooker. That's all I can say that you actually did, because there's no video. And of course, Jerry Jones is not going to admit to having done anything if he did something. But he was definitely an onlooker after being warned, after being told not to be there. But yet, there's a picture of you being there. That's Papaw in that picture, in a crowd of individuals who are trying to intimidate Black students who are trying to integrate a white high school. You tell me. And I think LeBron has a point. LeBron has a valid point. LeBron has a point that says, hey, if you're going to cover what Kyrie did, and you're going to try to judge the intent of what he did based off of what he did, not what he said or didn't say, I think the same energy should be displayed towards the rest of the population. That's just my thoughts. Those are just some of my thoughts concerning this. And additionally, there are individuals um, who make excuses for both types of behavior, both incidents that I have mentioned. There are individuals who try to make excuses for the behaviors on both sides of the aisle. I read a comment, well, a couple of comments from people whom I assume are white. I don't know. Um, it's Football has nothing to do with basketball. Why would they ask you a football related question, LeBron? Hmm. That's an American question. That is an a question about American history that has not been properly dealt with. That is an American question. It is an American issue that we are still dealing with in 2022. Since the 1600s to 2022, we are still dealing with this issue of race and racism. So obviously, you know, you can ask him about everything else. Why can't you ask him about that? Why wouldn't you ask him about that? I think he's intelligent enough to have a thoughtful and intelligent response to a question about Jerry Jones's participation, as limited as it may have been or may not have been, to give thought to that. And and for all of you who say that, slavery was a long time ago. Slavery wasn't a long time ago. When you think about the history of this country, slavery wasn't that long ago. America is a relatively young nation. And out of its young history, slavery is the ugliest stain. Slavery and the treatment of the indigenous people of this country is the ugliest stain on America's history. And there are those who are hell bent on teaching it accurately. There are those who are hell bent on making the Confederate something to be proud of when in actuality they were traitors to the Union. There are those who say, hey, get over it, get over it. But yet and still, we celebrate we commemorate, not celebrate, we commemorate the lives lost on 9/11 every year. So if you want us to forget about slavery, you should forget about 9/11. You see how ridiculous that sounds? 9/11 affected people in ways that we are still learning about. Slavery and Jim Crow affected black people in ways that you guys can't, many of you guys can't even begin to comprehend and understand. The level of trauma that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Many of you can't even begin to understand what that did, what that has caused. Just like 9/11, just like the Iraqi war, just like the Afghanistan war. There are guys walking around here who ain't all put together because of the things that they seen and the things that they had to do in wartime. And just think about it. For nearly 300 years, black people were in a war mindset. The only difference is we didn't have any weapons to fight with. We didn't have some foreign country giving us aid to help fight our enemy. No, we were straight survival mode. And that survival mode was passed down from generation to generation to generation. And it has really set a lot of people back. So that's my take on that. And we can have a discussion about that as well. Additionally, I wanted to talk about uh, Shanquilla Robinson, the updates in regards to this young lady's murder in Mexico. Just read today that there is a possibility that the United States government could prosecute the death of a citizen that happened in another country. I just read that today. The statute was included in the article, and it has to meet some certain qualifications to for the Justice Department to pick up that case. But um, there is some hope for the family. There's some additional hope for the family that justice will be served and that the responsible parties or party or parties responsible for her death will be held accountable. I also read that a search warrant has been issued for one of the individuals who was on that trip with her. I would assume it was the person who was assaulting her in the room that was on the video. Um, but I also read and heard that um, apparently no one knows what this individual is at this point in time. Uh, this individual has, gotten ghost. And I also read an article concerning Miss Robinson's mother, who has expressed frustration with the FBI lack of communication in regards to telling what was going on with her as it relates to their investigation of what happened to their daughter. And so we brought you that news um, a little while ago, provided some updates on my personal Facebook page and also on Essential Discourse with Bruce Smith business page on Facebook as well. So we'll continue to monitor that, and we will continue to provide those updates as they are made known. And I guess the final thing that I want to talk about today is that I want to say I don't know if it was Memphis. I, I, I don't want to put a name on it because I don't know the exact city, but a 15-year-old child was murdered in front of a Family Dollar in some city in the United States of America. Apparently, someone had reported to the police department that there was an individual brandishing a weapon. From the report that I saw, police arrive up on the scene. 15-year-old takes off running. 15-year-old is shot and died on the scene. Numerous eyewitnesses said that the 15-year-old never had a gun and that the 15-year-old was no threat to law enforcement. Family Dollar, instead of releasing the video, their surveillance video of what happened, turned it over to the police department. Because of the public outrage, the police department later released the video. However, the video had been edited. So what actually happened is still debatable. As soon as I find out the name of the city, I'm going to do some research on this, and I um, will mention this in an upcoming live stream. My hope, guys, is that you will come on in here and be a part of this and provide me as much feedback as you possibly can to help me discover uh, who my audience is and what my audience can handle. Because there's a lot of stuff that is going on in this world, and I don't want to waste your energy and your time discussing things that are not important to you. What's important to me is truth. What's important to me is relevance. How is it relevant to my life and your life? What's important to me is it restorative? Can I rebound from whatever it is that we've discussed that may be impacting my life? Can I rebound from it? Is it restorative? Is the information reasonable? Is what you're telling me to do? Is what you're suggesting that I do to correct whatever is going on? Is it reasonable? And finally, is the information reliable? That's what's important to me, and it's all on the platform, on the foundation of truth. So as I depart, I want to show you again, that is the website, www.edpshow.com. You can log on to the website, you can chat with me there, you can listen to all the podcast episodes, you can communicate with me in regards to what you would like for us to discourse. Uh, Make me aware of situations uh, that you think that would make a good topic of discourse. And again, I am appreciative for all your support. I want to earn your support. I don't want you to just give it to me. I want to earn it. I want to earn your support, and I want this to be a success. Again, um, the information does us no good if we're not willing to apply it, if we can't understand it. First and foremost, if we can't understand it and we're not willing to apply it. And in order to understand, there has to be some engagement. There has to be some communication. So I'm hoping that this is the first step in actually getting some good communication between us all. With that being said, until the next time, I hope you guys have a pleasant night, a pleasant week. I hope that God's hedge of protection remains around you, that you are safe from danger seen and unseen, and that you remember that you are special. You are unique, but you are not exempt from experiencing the hardships and the trials of this human existence. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have a great night. Peace, love. We out.